Authority Alchemy.
Authority Alchemy.
The show for positioning yourself as the number one authority in your industry.
Quickly turn your prospects into clients and clients into raving fans.
Here are your hosts,
Brian Horn and Jack Mize.
All right, here we are once again with Authority Alchemy. This is Jack Mize.
This is Brian Horn.
Wow.
Well, I jumped in.
That's fine. You jump all over. That shows you that we don't have this scripted. Where's our director today? We need to fire our producer.
We do.
All right. So anyway, welcome to Authority Alchemy. We have a great show today. So what is our topic today? We are going to be doing another Authority Mindset episode. We got a lot of great feedback from our last Mindset episode. So we're going to do some more. And this one's going to be on micro-specialization. That may sound a little sterile, but as Brian likes to call it, what is it?
Yeah, when I explain it, I explain it as learning more and more about less and less. And yeah, that's when you get more and more specific about what you're teaching, what you're selling, what you're doing. It's easier to become an expert at it and really solve people's problems. And
it's one of the big obstacles that people have. People tend to go against the grain. They think it goes against logic, that more is better. That's kind of the way that people think. If I know a little bit, that's great. If I know more, it's better. If I know a lot about a lot of things, even better. But it really is about focusing in. You probably have heard people say, it's really about finding your niche or niche. I can't, I'm more from Texas.
Yeah,
that word just doesn't come out.
As soon as I started speaking a lot in Australia, I started saying niche, and I had to say that whenever I was talking over there, because it completely would rub people the wrong way over there to say niche.
When you say niche, yeah, Texas.
So I learned. I started saying over there. Now I feel weird. I feel weird any way I say it. I'm so completely totally aware when I say that word.
I am too. Maybe we'll put a moratorium on that word. We're going to come up with another
We just start saying
word.
Industry every time, because my God, I'm just so self-conscious every time that word comes out.
All right, but that's what it is. It's about doing that down, right?
Right.
It's about narrowing the focus and the specialty on what you do. And we're going to talk about some examples today, and also, give you a little bit of some ideas on how you can think about taking stuff out of what you know. I think we've talked about it before. What is the definition of perfection is not when there's nothing left to add, it's when there's nothing left to take away. And you'll find that the less and less that you focus on and specialize in with the information in what you provide to your customers will really shine through. You'll be able to do what you do even better, and you'll have a more passionate following, and you'll have people that want to work with you because you are speaking so directly to their problem and having that solution. So let's define it. That's one definition. How would you define it, really, to make it crystal clear for folks?
I just going back to what I had said before, just getting very, very specific about what you're doing for people. Just get it as granular as possible. And one way to think of it is looking at doctors. I think I've used this example before, that you've got a general physician that handles bigger things, but once a doctor gets more and more specialized, say that one doctor gets specialized in working on the back, and then he gets even more specialized within his industry, being the one guy that's really good at one specific area of the back, and then maybe even within that niche gets even more specific of one particular method he uses to solve it. He becomes the expert that he goes around, talks at conferences, speaks at events, and does whatever the doctors perform in the big bowl where all other doctors sit around and watch what they're doing. He becomes that guy, and that's becoming an expert.
It is, and you can find that in almost any industry. You'll see people in industries that really do become the expert in a very narrow piece of what they do, and those are the ones that seem to be the most successful.
Absolutely,
right?
The ones that make the most money, for sure.
Right, and I think we've pretty much cleared up that it's the people that know the most about the most in what they do aren't necessarily the most successful in what they're doing. So let's give a couple examples. We'll give a couple examples of some, well-known folks, but then even some that maybe aren't so well-known, some of our clients and some people that we can give examples of. So, we obviously talked about Dave Ramsey, and even one of our favorites, Richard Simmons,
absolutely,
right, as being authorities and very successful in what they do. So what are some examples of how they've narrowed it down and talk about less and less and not necessarily the broad scope of their industry?
Yeah, like say Dave Ramsey, he's a financial authority. In broad sense of the word, he talks about finance. Very rarely talks about stocks. Doesn't talk about the gold index or bitcoins or how to invest in real estate or any of that stuff. He talks about one thing: getting out of debt. His specialty is just getting out of debt. His getting out of debt is not it's a one specific way of doing it. He doesn't cover it. Well, there's all these different ways you can do that. I'm the get out of debt guy. He goes, no, I'm the guy you just pay off your credit cards, quit being an idiot, and get out of debt. And it's a very, very basic one, very specialized method.
Yeah, and a great example of how he doesn't worry about knowing about everything. People that aren't in debt, people that have no debt problems, have no reason to listen to him.
Right?
Does he care about that?
No.
Right? He doesn't need everyone. And so many people think that they need to cast the widest net to bring in the most amount of potential prospects. And what happens? It ends up diluting their message.
Right. We see it in our industry more than we see it a lot in internet marketing, where people say, okay, I'm the SEO guy, I'm the Facebook guy, I'm the this guy, I'm this paid ad guy. You do everything. You ask. It's not long so you can tell the new guys at events when you're talking to them in social settings. You ask them what they do. Well, I'm an internet marketer. Go.
Yeah.
Okay, you are a broke person right now that likes to put that tag on yourself because there is not a internet marketer that has money.
Yeah. It's somebody that, let's give some examples. We talked about, we've worked with a guy, Greg Wells, who is really, really fantastic guy. And he is very, very focused on a very particular area, which is LinkedIn, right? And so the people that say, oh, I'm an internet marketer, do you do LinkedIn? Sure. Do you do it? Well, okay. If you do a little bit of everything.
Right.
But he does not just LinkedIn as a whole. He's very specific on LinkedIn as it pertains to people that are seeking jobs, job seekers. That's his market.
Right.
Now, when he narrowed down to LinkedIn, just for job seekers, he probably eliminated, what would you say, 90% of the population?
At least. There's even more. It's just people are seeking for jobs that want to use LinkedIn as a source to find jobs. I mean, it's what unemployment rate came out recently. It's like 7%. So you've got 7% already, and then once you want to use LinkedIn, you're probably looking at 1% of the total market that he's actually can even go after right now.
Now, why would he be so stupid
he's just
as to neglect all those potential prospects and just go after that? Like you said, what the employment, at least in the U.S., the unemployment rate is what, 7%? It's
like 7% or something.
7%, and then of those, the people that actually are actively using LinkedIn, man, that guy doesn't know what he's doing, does he?
Right. And out of that 7%, 1% are actually looking for employment. It's even less. You break it down, it's nothing. It's a tiny amount. He just must not make any money at all.
I know, and he doesn't know how to install WordPress. He doesn't know how to do all this stuff that people spend a lot of time. He is just focused, and he even focuses on the processes of putting that together. And I don't think he makes that. What is it? Was it like 7 figures a year?
Yeah,
he
just makes 7 figures a year. He'd be doing so much. He'd be doing so good if he just appealed to everybody in the world.
That is 7 figures a year. It's it's nice. It's tough to live on, but. I think you can have soup with his lunch every now and then, right?
So, yeah.
So, but that right there is an example of really getting narrowed down. And I'm sure you've seen people that try to, and maybe you've even tried to be the I'll do everything and anything. There's a couple of places, examples I can think of where people fail very quickly with this. One is restaurants. My son and I, there's a new restaurant that opened up near me. And we decided, let's go check it out. And we walked in there and we looked at the menu, and it had barbecue sandwiches. It had tacos. It had pasta. It started making you wonder, can they possibly make any of this stuff, very
right.
well? And I thought, what's the name of this restaurant? Stuff we know how to make? That's what it seemed like. And we left. We walked out the door because I had absolutely no confidence in
right.
what I was about to eat. Another one that I see that this happens a lot is in real estate agents.
All right.
Now, I'm not going to pick on real estate agents, but I would say real estate agents are notoriously bad marketers. All right? It's not that they neglect marketing. They just do it really, really poorly a lot of times. Right. And one of the reasons is because they try to cast that wide net. And when you ask a real estate agent, well, especially when I'm working with one on, how do you want to position yourself? Who's your market? Who do you want to special? Oh, anyone. I want to help buyers and sellers. And how many times have you seen? I don't know where they get it. You always see the real estate agent with their what is their glamour shot picture?
Yes.
and you see them spend tons of money on billboards and shopping carts, and it just says something like, "I'm the people's agent." And I'm like, well, what is that? I'm the people's agent. And they think that they're doing themselves a favor by being available and making themselves, I think, appeal to everyone. Mm-hmm. But in reality, if they just really, I'm not going to say it, narrow down their audience to say, I'm going to specialize in working with first-time home buyers.
Right.
I'm going to specialize in working with empty nesters that are moving on and need to sell their house. And what happens is when people are in that position, they will get those people 90% of the time, specifically because they see them as an authority and someone that's knowledgeable in their particular problem. It's easy for them to position themselves as that educator and advocate for the success of their clients and prospects when they can speak to a very specific problem. Right. And that's where folks like that, especially like real estate agents and just about any market, when they really narrow down and speak to the problems of a very narrow section of their prospects, those folks end up making way more money, even though they're neglecting 90% of the potential market by not diluting their message.
Yeah, absolutely. There was a few years ago when I was moving after I got married and sold my townhome in town in Houston. In the neighborhood I was in, there was a guy, and his specialty was that one neighborhood. It wasn't a huge neighborhood. There was a couple hundred units in there, probably a couple hundred homes, and that was his focus. He lived there. That's all he did. He sold stuff in there. He would help buyers find stuff, but he knew everything in there. And we were selling the place. He walked into exactly what we needed to do to make it look better than the other ones in there, what the price range was going to be, and he sold that thing very, very quickly for what we wanted.
Yeah,
that was his thing.
And so one more, just so you see that this works. And one of my longtime clients is a home remodeler, but he doesn't remodel just any home. He only works with real estate investors that are wanting to flip a house or their landlords wanting to get their house ready to rent. And that's all he works for. That's all he markets to. When most people would say, no, I want to do all these bathroom remodels for people, but he's got a system down where he doesn't have to mess with people that are living in their house. He gets to always work in empty houses, and people aren't emotionally attached to what they're doing. And that's all he does is do remodeling for just real estate investors. And I will tell you, he turns down more work than he takes because of people just want to work with him because they see him as the person, because they're not buying paint and carpet, they're buying the result of working with something that specializes in their area. Now, you have a way, people are probably saying, well, okay, how do I decide what kind of area that I want to work in? Because that's the next thing that oftentimes real estate agents will ask me. Sure. Well, how do I pick which one? How do I know which one is going to work for me? So if we're talking about just any industry, what are some basic guidelines or an exercise that people can do to try to figure out how they want to narrow that down?
Okay, sure. I've got a process that we'll go through, and you people listening at home or at the gym or in your car, wherever can do this pretty easily. First of all is just define your industry or your knowledge base at a very high level, just to kind of put yourself what niche, what area that you're specialized in. And like say for like Jack and I would be internet marketing, maybe at a high level, since we're helping people market their businesses online. That's what we do at a very high level. But then you break it down to a more specific area and create about like 5 different of these areas. For example, and you can, when I say break it down, it's not just at one time, you take it down multiple levels. Let me give some examples. For let's say internet marketing, like before I really started doing all this authority stuff for years, I was almost purely SEO. So let's say, okay, internet marketing, I do SEO. I focus more on backlinking, and then may take it even down a step further, where my focus is going to be on helping sites recover from Google penalties because of bad backlinking. And see, then I become the recovery from Penguin guy, not just the SEO guy, because an SEO guy is just some dude. You can buy SEO stuff on Fiverr for $5, obviously, but you can just go there and get that for anywhere. But a specialist to helping sites recover from Google penalties is badass. That's a guy that can make some money because you're hitting some pain points. Or you can also say, I'm going to be an SEO guy that's going to focus on content development for the supplement industry. Or you're going to help the personal trainers within the fitness niche on just getting their local sites ranked to get them more clients.
Right. And so if and I know this from a fact from internet marketing, when I've done live events and actually put together my own workshop, if I put out a workshop and said I'm going to do, I'm hosting an event that is for internet marketing for small businesses. Mm-hmm. All right. Then I'll get a group of people, and a lot of times it will have to be a free event, just to get people to come and, they'll grab a sandwich and see what this internet marketing thing. But if I do something very specific as internet marketing for real estate entrepreneurs or internet marketing for, say chiropractors, well, then all of a sudden you not only have a higher attention rate of that audience, but you also have a pretty good chance that you're going to get people to actually pay to attend that.
Absolutely.
just to listen to you. And that right there is the real difference by trying to dilute that versus, I'm going to go for everyone.
Absolutely. Yeah, for sure. And then once you've got about five areas to choose from, we're going to dig into those and see which one works the best. And there's something I have called the SPAN method that you're going to analyze each one with. And SPAN, the first, it's an acronym. S stands for specific. And so you're going to create specific subtopics of each one. And you can use Google suggested search for ideas. So let's say if it was recovering from Google penalties. You can go like into Google search and type it in and scroll down to the bottom of the page, and it'll show you some related topics. And you can see if there is more content, more topics to come up with. Because you don't want to have something that's so narrow and specialized that you're going to run out of content really quickly. You want to be able to have a lot of stuff to provide people. The P stands for pain. You want that the people you're going after, you want to make sure they have specific pains that your topics can help alleviate. And you don't just want to have things that help that our people want. You want to give things that they can take pain away from. That's where the money is. I was listening to Joel Osteen's podcast at the gym a couple days ago, and he had a really good point that just kind of drove this point home. That if you think back in your life, you can probably remember a time that you've had lost money, had $20 just kind of vanished somewhere. You dropped it somewhere. You go, shoot, I fell in my pocket. I just lost $20. And you probably think about it for days and just agonizes. You just go, God, I just can't believe I lost $20. But if you find $20 in your wallet, or not in your wallet, find $20 in your pocket or in a seat cushion or on the floor or something, just go, oh yay, $20, and you forget about it. It's gone. That's because we just, as humans, we just focus on negative. So you want pain is where the real money is. You want to make sure you can help people alleviate pain.
One of the things I learned from working with doctors is, and I think everybody can relate to this, cures sell way better than prevention.
For sure.
Right?
That's a good point.
People will not buy prevention. They'll buy cures.
Absolutely.
Once they have the pain. So, and you'll notice that if you've ever done anything in your business where if you analyze it and step back and say, wow, I was trying to sell prevention versus a cure. Who do you think makes more money? The people that sell antivirus software to prevent getting viruses, or the people that sell recovery services from data that's been lost? I guarantee you, who pays more?
Yep, for sure.
So that is a great point to find that pain. I'm always tough with acronyms. You know, the SPAN, got to stick it in front of there. So P is for pain.
Right.
All right, I got it now.
Okay. Yeah, so it's a specific subtopics, pain, and A is for attainable. Make sure you have to make sure you can really help them. You need to be honest with yourself and not go after something you can't do just because it sounds cool or because somebody else is doing that. We see that now with people that bounce around from topic to topic, where somebody is a Facebook expert, then you see them a couple of months later, they have a coaching program. They're all, boom, my coaching program's filled up. I'm awesome. And then they see something else starts working. They start copying that one. You can't really help people if you're bouncing around from thing to thing. And you have to be honest with yourself, because this ain't going to work if you can't help people. You
mean that if I heard that it was really profitable to teach people how to be racehorse jockeys, I couldn't jump into that?
I don't think so.
Okay.
You certainly could try, and I think there'd be a market out there for people that would love to watch that process happen. I certainly would love to see you race a horse around a muddy track. I would pay for that. Yes,
I think horse chiropractic services would be very popular after that. Yeah,
probably so. And then the N is for numbers. Is there enough of a market to warrant you getting into it? Like when Jack and I were going over this for the show, when we were talking about that, and he gave the example of albino guinea pigs.
Yeah, albino guinea pig farming. Yeah.
That it's cool. It's very niche, but I don't know if there's enough of a market out there for it. There probably could be. We obviously did not do our research on albino guinea pigs. We probably have a million person Facebook page.
We'll get emails. Hey, Mister.
Whoa. For the Albino Guinea Pig Association.
Well, you got to be careful. Oftentimes, there's one of the tricks that folks use is go down to Barnes and Nobles or the bookstore and look at the magazine rack,
right,
and see what there are magazines put out for. But sometimes you got to be careful about that. Even I think it was George Carlin, the comedian, that says if two people do it, then there's a magazine devoted to it, right?
So
you got to be careful. So definitely make sure that there is a market for it, for your narrow specialty. But I think you'll be surprised on the positive side to find out that by narrowing down, you are going to have way better traction on this. Okay, right. So the numbers. So how would they do that?
And Facebook groups is a great way. That's everybody's. Not everybody, most people are on Facebook. You can go in there and see how many groups there are for that, how big they are. Our Facebook page is also how many likes they have, how interactive the group is. You can look on LinkedIn and see groups there, or industry websites and forums, and just see the activity in there. So if you hit all those things, that there are enough specific subtopics where you can continually provide content for people and really help people with it, and have to be enough of a problem for people to have. Also, that there is a pain product, like going back to the albino guinea pigs, that would not pass the pain, because it's nice having a pet. It's fun having a pet. We suspect, but it's not a pain thing. That one would be like if you help. If you're dying albino guinea pig specialist or something, that would be a vet. But so you'd have to have some type of pain point involved, and then can you really help them, and then the numbers, and that's the SPAN method. So that's one just to put each idea through. So the ideas we got before, put them through this method, see if you can and see if they pass this method, and then it's gonna shake out a bunch of them. You're gonna have one or two left to start going through the next phase to see if it's really what you want. So next step.
Well, hold on. Before we do that, I want to make sure that we're crystal clear on this, because I know this is when we talk to people and clients in person. Sometimes it's hard for them to get their head around neglecting. Oh, but there's plenty of those people out there. Oh no, but that's a good market. That's a good market. And to think about Howard Stern, right? Howard Stern is probably one of the highest paid media personalities there is, right?
Yeah.
And he's probably hated by 90% of the population.
Probably so.
That won't listen to him. But that 10% that gets him, that 10% that likes him, is passionate about it.
I'm passionate about it.
Makes him stinking rich, right?
Absolutely.
I think even the car industry, they have a pretty specific model about, the way they design cars, that they need at least a third of the population to strongly dislike the model of car.
Really?
Yeah. So the model that they use is they want a third of the population to be passionate about it, really like it. A third of the population to dislike it. It's just something that rubs the wrong way. And then a third can be indifferent. Because the problem is, if you put out a car that doesn't really offend or do it for if you try to cover the field and make a car that is that appeals or doesn't turn off everyone, then you've got this
milk toast thing that nobody.
Yeah, you've got you got a car that you got to compete on price.
Yeah, what's that really boxy one that they have like the dancing hamsters with? My God, I hate the way that car looks. But
it looks like, to me, it's like a microwave on wheels.
Yeah, I hate it. But you're right. There's people that are passionate about it, that fix it different ways. That's
on the other end of that, with Ferraris and Lamborghinis and even any of those cars, you'll find there's a lot of people that would never drive one. They don't like the way it looks, but the people that do will pay a lot of money for it. But it allows you to not compete on price.
Right.
Otherwise, you are just competing on price, and that's the only reason people will buy it, because it's affordable.
Right.
And you don't want it to be affordable. You remember what happened to all the affordable cars that came out? What was it, the Geo Metro? Was that one?
And the Pinto. And
the Yugo. You remember that one?
Oh, the Yugoslavian machine. Of course.
That's right, the Yugo. I think you run over a piece of gum, you got to call a tow truck, don't you?
You go no more.
You're stuck, yeah. What do they say, the Geo? You breaks down, you open up the back, there's another Geo back there. So that's the thing. If you're trying to appeal to everyone, you're going to get nowhere. So once you've established that and you're good with that, and you're good that you're not going to work with everybody, and you've kind of picked these, now how can you quickly become an authority in that specialized, narrow field?
Standard things. You've got, obviously, the number one thing is to be an author, have a book about it, which we've done stuff about books before, and we've said it before, but it really is the best way to just define yourself as an authority. And there's very few people that would argue that point. People that are putting on conventions looking for speakers, or people that want TV stations or radio stations want people as guests. A book is what you almost have to have. But if you're not at the point yet where you want to do that, you can also do a blog. Have a full blog, and don't do the typical thing. I always laugh. I see people doing this all the time. Is when they start a new blog, almost always 3 blog posts. They'll get through 3, and then that'll be it. Because the first one, they're all passionate doing it. Next, they're going, "Oh, this is kind of cool." And third one, they're going, "Yeah, I just need to put up another blog post." And then it's kind of like, "F it, I'm done. I'm out of the blog market." So you can see so many blogs where that happens. And same thing with videos on YouTube. It's so funny because I went back and looked at my YouTube channel. I'm not a big video poster, and I did that. I had like 3 cool videos posted, and I kind of dropped after that because the videos aren't my thing. I don't like looking at myself on camera. I don't like setting all that stuff up. Just not my thing. Or like we're doing with the podcast is another great way. So all kinds of just ways to put out there to establish yourself as the authority by putting content out for people.
Yeah, and podcast is a great thing. How do people go and look for podcasts? They're not looking for. Nobody goes in and types in the search entertaining podcast, right? Nobody types the search interesting podcast,
right? Or good-looking podcast host, which would obviously pull us up.
And they're looking for something specific. So I think that's a really good point there. So basically, it's content, create authority content, and more specifically, where a lot of people miss it is create content where you're positioning yourself as that educator and advocate. Right. Advocate, don't make it. So many people make all their content advertisements. Hey, this is great, and we know how to do this, and you can do this too. But if you want it, here you got to buy this. Right.
Yeah, this is pure content. It's got to be very specific on your micro specialization. So if you're going to be the guy for. For you're recovering from Google expert, don't get in there and all of a sudden talk about the latest. Some latest backlinking trick, or how to optimize images, or something else like that. Keep it specific, because as soon as you start going off And being a general knowledge person, you take all of your coolness away, all of your authority you take away. Eventually, if you want to throw some of that stuff in, it's fine, but it'd be a while before I did that. I can't see us doing that. That'd be like us on our authority alchemy side. If we started just talking about how to run Facebook ads, because some new Facebook ad update, and we're just not going to do it unless it relates, and we relate it back to how to do Facebook ads, to position yourself as an authority.
How you can play golf like an authority. Here, let's show them some golf. Yeah. So let's give some, because these are some things that a lot of people don't realize that are really nowhere near as difficult to do as they think they are. So you talk about books, you talk about blogs, podcasts, videos. Think about even down to the level of the free reports that people give away.
Sure.
Right. We go back to real estate agent. You see real estate agents putting out these reports of just this general sterile,
same stuff over and over.
Yeah, you're a real estate, info guide. Well, what the heck is that? I'm not looking for an info guide. But if you specialize in first-time home buyers and you have a free report that it doesn't have to be that long, that just says, the 5 things that Houston first-time home buyers need to know before they start shopping for a house. Now, the people that you are getting into your funnel that are becoming attracted to you are very, very warm prospects and very, very specific. So, and we've seen people, I got clients that put together simple tools that people can use to help them make educated decisions on what they're doing.
That's great. Yeah.
Yeah. And so think about little things that you can do to educate that you can give to people, put out on Facebook. Hey, get my free whatever, but make sure it's free. People don't like being tricked. People don't like the classical. What was it? The Time Life books. You remember the old commercials? We may be dating ourselves. I do. Did you know that Jesse James once shot a man while he was
just for snoring too loud?
Just for snoring. Really? Hell, wow. Buy the book. That's what they'd always say. Yeah. Oh, well, how do they do it? Buy the book. Don't be a buy the book person. You want to obviously make your offer and them to work with you, but don't string them along and say, well, before I tell you that, you got to buy the book.
That's so I forget my password sometimes, but I knew that this Jesse James shot a guy in the back for snoring too loud. Commercial from 20 years ago.
Isn't that sad?
My brain.
So that's where it is. To quickly become an authority is really about putting yourself out there as the educator and advocate in just about, I guess, if you want to break content, it's content, right?
It's all about putting out free content very specifically about what you are doing. The other thing people are always scared of is giving away their good stuff, giving away their gold, and putting up there. Don't be scared about it. Put it out there. Look at us. We're doing this podcast. We've had several people say, "Wow, you could have paid products that you're selling for how you told us like what to do with Amazon or how to write those authority press releases. This is stuff nobody's come up with you put out before, or if they did, it was a charged course." We're putting out there free, and we're getting people in using this for consulting and other things.
Absolutely, and that's where you have to know, because you know what, we're not worried about getting paid by every possible person that's willing to pay us from $1 to more. We'd rather get the information out there, and then the people that we want to work with that are ready to be authorities, that's who we get to work with. And so just like you said, don't be afraid. That's one of the biggest fears to get over. And people say, well, if I tell them, why would they pay me if I give away the secret? And you want to know the real secret? They always think you got more.
Absolutely. So if he's given this away, what must he really know?
Right. And you know what? I'd be willing to bet you do have more that you just don't think and put the value on in your head.
Right, even just on your one special trick, the way that particular person applies it will be very different from the way another one does, or another one. You get 10 people in a room, when they apply your one magic trick, it'll all be very different. You're going to be the one to help them figure that out, how to apply that for just them. That's what they really want, is how I can use it.
So that's those are some ideas, and we'll probably come up with more and help folks come up with these as far as books, blogs. There's creating your own email course. There's so many different ways that you can get to become that authority. But and this is probably the best way when you're entering a new market, and not necessarily something new that you like, new knowledge that you have, but if you're entering a market that you're not known as an authority.
Right. This is when you come on, you're ready to launch yourself. Like if you've become the Google recovery expert. that's a new market. Even if you've been SEO for a decade, you're going to a new market if you've not positioned yourself as that before.
Yeah, so a new market, and even though, and I don't know how many people that have done it, how many times have you seen in the music business where people say, oh, they're an overnight sensation, but you see that they've been, slugging it out in the clubs for 10 years.
Yeah, there's one person that won Best New Artist one year. I don't remember who it was, but they'd been, I was like, oh, you got to be kidding me. They've had this like their fourth album.
I got to tell you, this is off track, but it's a great anecdote. If anybody ever has a chance, go out and rent a movie called Searching for Sugarman. If you haven't seen this, if you see this, where this guy that put out a record here in the U.S. that flopped, but he became Elvis-like status over in South Africa and never knew it. Mm-hmm. Never knew it. He's over here working carpentry jobs, and over there he's a rock star that they think died in some mythical legend. But all of a sudden he's an overnight success because when somebody kind of figured it out. So this isn't even if you've been slugging it away as a real estate agent, as an accountant, as a chiropractor, but now you realize, if I just narrow this down and I become this authority in this particular niche, then entering that new market, it's all about making your contact about that specific area, right? And then obviously having other people talk about you as that authority in that market.
Absolutely.
And we've talked about ways to do that through, authority press releases, just like you said, writing books, podcast, things like that. So what can you do as far as getting that? Those other people talking about you and looking at you as authority.
Sure. I mean, the first thing, again, is going back to the putting out all types of content. The first thing anybody's going to do before they interview you, before they promote you, they're going to look and see what you're doing. You've got to have just a nice hunk of content out there. If you're starting off, put out a piece a day for a couple of weeks. Just go crazy with just all kinds of. When somebody looks at your site, they see all types of content. Another trick you can do on this one, and we can notice we do this on our site also, is we take the dates off of posts and comments. So it does it does a few things. One, when you're just starting off, it'll look like you didn't just start off. It looks like you have months of content you've put on. And if somebody comes back and sees a post 2 years from now that you had just written, they'll think it's a fresh post also. Yeah,
you don't date them unnecessarily. Things that could be evergreen information, people automatically assign, oh, that's old stuff, so you don't want to see that. So when people are looking, you talk about put yourself out there available to guests on podcasts, put yourself out there available to speak at even local events on that very narrow topic. Those are probably really quick ways for you to be able to do this. And I know we're going to have plenty of episodes around building this up. So that's really the simple way of entering that new market is to boil it down, decide what you're going to be and get busy being it, right?
Absolutely.
And it's really nothing more than that. I like that. We need to write that down. Decide what you're going to be and get busy being it. Hey, is that a good Facebook picture?
That's a good, definitely. That's a little meme image with your pretty face on it and a little quote.
That's
absolutely
it. All right.
That's the next one.
That's it. Okay. Ooh, I hear my favorite song.
Oh, I'm starting to move a little bit.
It's finally time for authority hacks. It may be Brian's or it may be Jack's. You'll appear to be famous, then you will claim us to be the kings of authority hacks. It's done for authority hacks. It's done for authority hacks.
All right, here it is. It's time for the authority hack. Get your pens and pencils out because you're going to really learn some cool stuff, and it definitely relates back to exactly what we were talking about today. Is when you're creating some of that content, right?
Absolutely,
when you're creating some of those narrowed down. Man, can we just find a different word for niche? I feel like I'm losing my Texas roots when I say niche. I feel like kind of like I need to be drinking tea and put my little pinky up in the air saying it, but we're the only ones that say it like that. It's a polarizing word. It is. All right. So let's talk about this authority hack. Yes. Is where people get stuck, right? They have their brain locks and
I have nothing to write about.
You have nothing to write about. So go ahead and tell us about this.
Yeah. So what this is a free tool you can use online. It's called linkbaitgenerator.com. We'll put a link in the resources section of the site, but you can just go to linkbaitgenerator.com, create an account, and then it takes you to a page where you can put in your keyword and hit a button that says generate. And what it'll do, it just cranks out link bait titles for your blog post, which basically link bait is just ones that sound so interesting people want to click on it and link to it and share it.
I'm gonna pull one up. What's a good one for us to check out?
What do you want? First time home buyers, since we're talking about real estate?
Yeah, that'll be a good one. Okay, let's go ahead. So we're going to put first time home buyers into the here and there, and we're going to hit replace, and we're going to generate. So we hit generate. So what are we seeing here?
We see 5 insane but true things about first time home buyers.
Now that builds curiosity, right?
Right, absolutely.
And you know, one of the things to get people to jump in, and it's a psychology. Man, I got to write down. I'm coming up with so many more episodes just sitting here. Is one of the big things is generating curiosity and creating anxiety to get people to want your content. And so 5 insane but true things about first time home buyers, or if you want to put first time home buyer loans, things like that.
And just to show how one word can change things. If you've had 5 important things for first time home buyers to know. It's dry. It's not fun. That's why I love this tool, because they have these cool little things, like just insane but true is just a powerful little set of words right there. Because that's just it's like it reminds me like the cracked website. Their type of posts they put. I click on those every time just because it's so interesting. It is.
I always get this clients to strike this word from their vocabulary. Tips.
Yes.
Right? No, who wants tips anymore? Hey, I can give you some tips.
Yeah.
I don't want tips.
Definitely something that's been overdone. You're right.
Yeah. So you don't want tips. You want secrets. You want, use the more powerful words. So, okay. So we go through. They're not all going to be gems, but you can run through them. Let's see. What's a good one? I like that. First time home buyers smackdown. And now this one says Prince William versus the Dalai Lama. Now you may say, well, that doesn't make any sense. You know what? I bet there's a good copyright out there that could make that make sense.
Or even you could just take, if some piece of it, if Prince William, Dalai Lama don't work, first time home buyer smackdown is great. You could use if Madonna had just bought a new house, or if somebody else had bought a house. Tied into something like that, or some young star that bought their first house and used as Paris Hilton being insane in some new house she has.
Yeah, first time homebuyer smackdown, established neighborhood, or new construction. That's there you go. That right there is a perfect one that people would like. Yeah, what should we do? What's better for us to do? So we got 8 reason to fear. How about 8 reason to fear first time home buyers, but you can turn that at 8 reasons to fear buying your first home, or 8 reason to fear mortgage brokers, or something like that.
Like 8 reasons for mortgage brokers would be good. Or for your real estate agents, turn it back on yourself. Why people should be scared of you.
Now this right here, 5 amazing things you probably don't know about first time home buyers. You could flip to 5 amazing things you probably don't know about buying your first home.
Yeah. So you can use these just to get ideas. And getting these written is very easy also. We're going to give you a couple of resources for this also. The first one, you can go for about $10. Go to iWriter.com, like lowercase I, like an iPad or iPod, iPhone, iReport, or iReport CNN also, but iWriter.com. And you can go there and you can give them this title, pay about $10, and you'll have a bunch of people ready to submit articles to, and you can pick which one you want, and it's you have a nice little piece of content. Then you take that and put your own words. I would never post something directly from any writer. Go back in and put your spin on it, put in some images, make it look nice and neat, put in some cool formatting, and you have some fun with it, but really put in your own words and look.
That's the thing. It's not about getting someone to do it all for you. It's about
getting it started. That's the hardest part of writing. So you sit down at your desk with your WordPress up and a blank screen, and you just go, I don't know what to do. This takes you past that problem. You go through here, get a list of maybe 10 of them together, change up the titles a little bit to make them work for you. Go to iWriter, put in $100 from PayPal, get 10 articles written, and go back, do it yourself, and you've got 10 posts. You can do that. I can one a day for a couple of weeks.
Yeah, and there's a lot of great writers out there that that's their passion. They get to do what they love, and they will do this very inexpensively, especially if it's not something that you want to do or feel confident in doing. Another one is mywriters.com.
Right. There's a little higher level one. They do the better stuff, a little more expensive, but it's a good one.
I think it'd be more purposeful. But so search around, find what suits your needs. And, frankly, for $10, test out a few of them. Some of them are throwaways. Find one that you're comfortable with, and you right there is going to save you a ton of time, but give you a lot of content that you can quickly build up. That authority, that stockpile of authority content that you can use.
Right, and piggybacking on that, at iWrite, if somebody particularly does a really good job for you, you can start using them again and just give your jobs to them. So once you find somebody, get those 10 articles, narrow it down, find the ones you like, and you can just start sending it to one person. They're going to learn more and more about your topic. You can give them feedback on your style, what you want done, and you can get more specifically what you want. Like when I was working with somebody, I said, I want you to reference news. I had them do some newsjacking stuff. I wanted to reference some popular things going on in the news with each one of these, and they'd look it up, reference it, and link back to it. So I have links to popular news stories covering those topics, and then go back into my topic. And there's a whole SEO thing, just linking out to other authority sites. But it just makes it look like a really much cooler article. So you don't have to do it that way, but whatever your style is, if you want it written like more humorously coming from you, if you want a very more of a dry and serious type tone, you can do it. They'll get to your style down. It's really good to have that one person writing it eventually. Yeah. And so that's a great authority hack that you can put together and be just a content king. Boy, that sounds kind of a content king. Yeah. Okay. You can be a content king or queen. Very quickly by using that. So link bait generator, if you're stuck with ideas, believe me, this is going to kick the cobwebs out of the brain and let you get down to it. All right, so before we wrap this up, we got a couple of house, what do you call it? House cleaning, whatever things to take care of. First of all, we got to give away a gift card. We do have to give away a gift card because, we told people we're giving away gift cards. So that's what we're doing. It's become popular. So tell people real quick, what is the very specific and highly tracked criteria that we use for selecting our gift card recipients? We need you to leave a review for us on iTunes or Stitcher, and that's it. And
leave us a review. Go to, and you can see right there if you go to authorityalchemy.com. You can hit those sites. You can see how to leave a review. And no, we're not bribing you for good reviews. Leave whatever review you want.
All right, we're just wanting some information on what you guys think about us, what you thought of this show in particular, just to let us know how we're doing.
And then we just randomly pick these very meticulously. Actually, we go and grab them.
Yeah.
All right.
Just turn it on and scroll down and poke one.
Yeah, and to pick a winner. And so who is this week's winner?
We do this one right here. This Lucas Rock.
Lucas Rock.
Lucas Rock. That's such a cooler name than he was probably pretty cool in high school. Lucas Rock. That's just an awesome. That's a much cooler name than Brian Horn. That's Horn Dog and Horny was my life growing up. Rock just sounds like he'll beat your ass if you say something. But, so here, Lucas he said, I stumbled on this through a recommendation and was surprised to engage about this topic. One that I wasn't previously interested in, but I am now going to return for more.
Well, fantastic. And you know what, Lucas, you can prove that by coming and claiming your gift card. Now, what are we giving a gift card to? Again, we go through painstaking efforts to find the best gift cards.
Absolutely.
And actually, we don't. Where's the gift card to? We'll get you a gift card.
It's a little taco truck down the road from Jack's house. So all you got to do is come to Houston, find Jack, and knock on his front door. If he's home, he'll give you the gift card. You can walk down to the taco truck and enjoy a nice, delicious taco.
That's it. And we, if you don't like tacos, you also can go to Larry's Snack Shack, and we'll be happy to do that. But go claim your gift card. It'll be a good one. Best Buy, iTunes, something like that. Starbucks.
Right. Just go to our Facebook page, facebook.com/authorityalchemy, and we'll get you a good gift card. We're just kidding about the taco place unless you want that.
Yeah, that's what I'd pick. All right. Also, we want to remind you of the new one of the new features that we have. One of the new segments or episodes that we are doing called Profiles in Authority, which is a little bit different than what you're hearing today, is where we attract some folks that have become authorities in their industry, and through methods that are really cool that just about anyone can do. And sometimes they're just folks that we like and we think are cool and we want to talk to.
Absolutely.
And so this week we interviewed Doug Clark from the show Flipmen on Spike TV, and that one really he unfolded some pretty cool stuff that a lot of folks may not realize. Right?
Yeah, it was just, it's amazing the stuff we're teaching at teaching you guys. He used to get a TV show. I mean, it's almost the exact same stuff what we're teaching works with the big entertainment industry. I was shocked when he told me about the radio station, how he used that radio thing to get the TV show. That's not far off from what we're teaching you guys at all.
It is. So it's a really, really cool thing. And this from a guy that manufactured his own celebrity, his own authority, went on to get a show on Spike TV. It's coming out on ABC this next season of a show on ABC. And it's really, really good information to listen to on how all this unfolded. And really, I really enjoyed that interview. So that'll be coming out this Thursday. And if you're listening to this way down the road, just go look at for the next podcast after this one, because that's where we'll have it. Profiles of Authority with Doug Clark. All right. Well, I think we have pretty much gone into the micro specialization, or learning more and more about less and less to really narrow down your market. And so I'd like to see how folks are doing this. Go to authorityalchemy.com. Let us know in the comments. Let us see what you're doing. We loved seeing the comment from the lady that did the CNN hack and got her story actually showed on CNN on the TV show. So we love getting that kind of feedback. Let us know about that. So I guess, Brian, what have you got? You want to close it out?
Sure, I'll close it out. I'm going to start doing something a little different when I close out each one of these episodes. I'm going to do something called Jackson's Lesson of the Week, little lessons for my son. If Plan A doesn't work, don't worry. There are 25 other letters. As you may or may know, my son has Down syndrome, and they tend to have delays in verbal communication. He's almost 3.5 right now, and he just speaks a handful of words. But we're able to teach him sign language at a rate better than a typical child. He has 50-plus signs he speaks right now. He's had that since he was about 2 years old, so he can communicate with us with just about anything. The lesson from this for us is that if you aren't hitting your goals on your current path, find a different way to get there. There are near unlimited ways to solve any problems. See you next week.
Authority Alchemy.
The show for positioning yourself as the #1 authority in your industry.
Quickly turn your prospects into clients and clients into raving fans.
Authority Alchemy.